Kazuha said he would wait for us at the Five Cup.
Ah, you're here. It appears everyone has arrived. Last night, I visited a former servant who once worked for my family. In my great-grandfather's generation, the Ishin art was tasked with though all the craftsmen involved were very experienced. The process was still when the deadline came, the blade still wasn't finished. So the Kaidahara clan and Yashiro Commission then conducted an investigation. However, they met fierce resistance from the craftsmen. The Kaidahara clan was severely punished for the swordsmiths that had escaped. Moreover, I heard that the head of the Kamisato clan was injured by the fleeing swordsmiths.
Yes. The sudden passing of the family head left the Kamisato clan leaderless. Treacherous. This single incident had profound effects. Even after the position as head of the clan was passed to my father, but thanks to my brother,
the failure to forge the blade was ultimately attributed to a lack of required skill and finesse. However, the story of the five Kasen seems to imply that the failure... Miss Kamisato, I heard yesterday that the Yashiro Commission has still... Might I ask you to do me a favor?
Yes, I understand. I will go back and search for the die. Everyone, I've managed to find the...
Though the diagram is well preserved, you can still...
Whoa, that's pretty old. Is it still...
At this point, we can only try our luck and see how we...
Although the effect is not too obvious, Kazuha, this is clear evidence that this chart was indeed tampered with.
I see. But I fear that I've discovered this secret too late. When my grandfather was young, he proposed reviving the Ishin art many times to... Yesterday, the former family servant said that my great-grandfather even went to the Yashiro Commission to request that diagram from the head of the Kamis... Sure enough, my grandfather also failed. My great-grandfather then told him, if you can't... My grandfather left Inazuma in a rage after hearing those words. He didn't ever see my... Looking back at it now, the argument between the two of them was simply... meaning...
Oh,
I heard that your great-grandfather was very industrious when he was young. But later in life, he no longer...
Kazuha, did your great-grandfather really say, if you can't find the secret within?
Yes. The servant said that he personally heard those words, And my grandfather was so angry at the time that he smashed my great-grandfather's...
Yes, it appears that you understand my meaning. Kazuha, if your great-grandfather thought that the Ishin art lacked finesse, then after witnessing his son's failure, wouldn't he have said something? But instead he said, if you can't find the secret within. Don't you find that a little...
Huh? So you're saying my great-grandfather may have very well known...
Yes. The current evidence suggests...
I apologize, but would you all... After I became a wanted criminal, the Tenryou Commission seized my family's last remaining... I want to inquire about the whereabouts of those belongings.
All right, let's get moving.
What are you all doing here?
Kujo Sara.
Yes, I do. You're Kaedehara Kazuha, a wanted criminal.
Sarah, we'd like to ask about the Kaedehara clan's property that was seized by the Tenryou Commission.
Yes, the items seized at that time are currently stored in the warehouse next to the police station.
No, I'm afraid you misunderstand. I'm not here to reclaim those belongings.
I see. All right, I'll inform the...
Thank you, Sarah!
Kaedehara...
That's all in the past now, Kujo Sara. There's no need to mention it again. However, may I ask something of you?
Yes? What is it?
Currently, I have no plans to stay in Inazuma. As a... Madam Kujo, I believe you are a person of integrity. After our investigation is over, I'd like to ask if...
All right, I understand.
The defenses of the left side of the tower need to be strengthened.
Ah, you must be here to investigate the Kaedehara clan's belongings. Well, Madame Kujo's already informed me of the situation. The Kaedehara clan's belongings are stored in this warehouse. Unfortunately, the items are scattered throughout. However, I have clearly marked the corresponding items, so they should... I'll be waiting for you at the door. Please, come see me if you require...
Kazuha, since the items are scattered throughout the building...
Yes, sounds like a plan.
Oh, it's you. I'm currently
Oh, since the Kaedehara clan was a family of renowned swordsmiths...
I'm afraid not. Although the sword rack is made of fine wood, the swords placed here appear to be quite ordinary. The blade on the sword hasn't been sharpened, but there are many signs of use on...
Let Paimon see! Oh, there seems to be a couple uneven characters etched into the sketch. Paimon can imagine what Kazuha was...
I will continue investigating here and call you if I find any...
What did you find, Shincho?
I found quite the pile of old books. These books here are all related to smelting steel. And these are about the...
The books about plants and flowers must...
I skimmed through them just now, but I didn't find anything particularly worth noting.
What
be some around here somewhere. Do you see all these pots here? Some of them are
Hey! Everyone else is trying hard to help, and you're
I merely jest, of course.
Well, Paimon doesn't really get why Kazuha told Sara to sell. What if we don't end up finding anything today? Then wouldn't Kazuha lose the...
I know you are worried about Kazuha, but if you ask, since Kazuha made such a request to Sara, that indicates he's already made his choice. Whether we find out the no, not intuition. Rather, I've lived for a long... Leave the things here to me. You two can look around.
Oh, it's you. Unfortunately.
Whoa! This folding screen looks...
Yes. Perhaps if it were better maintained, then it could fetch a decent... I was taking a closer look just now and noticed a large piece of dirt. The soil is deeply embedded into the cloth. That means a great deal of force was used when the dirt was lodged into the... Because this is not what we are looking... Let me think. If I wanted to leave...
Albedo seems to be thinking pretty hard.
Everyone, I've found something that you should all have a look at. This flower pot was in my house for a long time.
Yeah, the plants seem to have been dead for...
Well, after my great-grandfather stopped studying the forging arts, he picked up the hobby of keeping bonsai plants. But he specifically left behind this dead plant at the time. And even my grandfather deeply regretted that he never managed to reconcile with my But now that I think about it, my great-grandfather...
now that you mention it...
Yes. Let's take...
We finally found something! Do you think someone already discovered the compartment and swapped...
No, I do not think that is the case here. See the paper? It's quite yellowed, which means it's...
You mean to say that these sheets have been written with...
Yes, I agree with this hypothesis.
Okay, let's give...
There is a pond outside the police station. I'll...
Well, how did it go? Those weren't just plain old
Just as everyone guessed, after I sprinkled some water onto the paper, writing did indeed begin to appear.
Oh? What does the letter say?
It is. I'll tell you what my great-grandfather knew at the time, but everyone, please follow me.
Let's get down to business. My blade!
Kaedehara, why did you lead us to this beach?
It is. In fact, my great-grandfather and the head... Our hypothesis was correct. My great-grandfather was well aware of the truth behind the defective... It reads, to whoever reads this letter, I, Kaedehara Yoshinori, have been held to a certain secret throughout all those years ago, when I was pursuing the swordsmiths alongside Commissioner Kamisato of the Yashiro Commission. I was not injured by one of the fleeing smiths. Rather...
It was night, and after the clues led us down to shore, I waited for the culprits to show themselves. This stranger claimed to be the one behind the failed forgings, and said that he had been patiently waiting for it. That person was of able body, and in a blink of an eye, myself and the accompanying samurai had been defeated. Commissioner Kamisato was severely wounded, and I barely escaped death myself. My hat had fortunately blunted. The unusual stranger could have easily claimed my life at that moment. But I answered that it was my father's surname, and after my father disappeared, upon hearing my answer, the stranger paused. After a long silence, he suddenly said, "Tell her this. My name is Kunikuzushi." He then turned and left.
Wow. So
Yes. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan escaped from death. However, due to the encounter, the head of the Kamisato clan was worried that my great-grandfather would be falsely accused of being involved with the perpetrator. So even because the perpetrator said he would destroy the Raiden Gokaden, my great-grandfather worried that the perpetrator... He said, "As the leader of the Kaedehara clan, I am deeply ashamed to witness the decline of the Ishin art." Yes, that's right. If my grandpa had unfortunately, he failed to catch Miss Kamisato. It appears you were unaware of the happenings that my great...
I suppose the reason the head of the Kamisato had... If the perpetrator was capable of tampering with even the Shogun's diagrams, I will discuss this matter with Brother shortly and investigate the identity behind the one called...
To be honest, as I read the letter, I felt much... My great-grandfather said in the letter that he did not wish his descendants to blindly seek revenge. Though he was in a tight situation when he wrote these words, I think what's most important for each person is not the past, but the present. Even though we must... Therefore, knowing the truth behind what happened is enough for me. That being said, if the enemy from all those years ago is still lurking and plotting to stir up more trouble, then I definitely... These are simply insights I've gathered from all... Thank you all for accompanying me in my search for the truth.
great! Now that we're done here, let's head back to Rito.
Hello, traveler.
Albedo, why is the portrait of Kuranushi all covered up? Paimon wants to see what your Kuranushi...
Don't worry. The unveiling ceremony will be starting short. I will say that I'm most satisfied with this particular work. I even made a special trip to see someone. Is that so?
Well, hello everyone.
Hey! What are you two doing together? Don't think we didn't see you two chatting up a storm just now.
Is that so? I'm afraid.
We were merely discussing wine and food.
Speaking of good sides with sake,
Forget it. Even if those two...
You're tired from walking all around the festival. How about you sit right here and try my Inazuman snacks?
Traveler, Paimon, it's a pleasure to see you. Indeed it did. Thanks to you, the signing event went off with...
Shicho, is it?
You aren't mistaken. Though I'm ashamed to admit it. After all, I came to Inazuma under the pretext of evaluating a potential investment. Fortunately, the crowds of readers that came flocking over have kept the... Oh, I should mention, Shu is also unaware of the real purpose of my trip. Then, please accept my thanks in advance. I'm sorry that I can't chat long. I'll see you later at the unveiling ceremony for Kuronushi.
arcade will definitely be a big hit.
Ah, great.
Oh, Ayato! We finally get to see.
Yes, there were many things which required my attention. Fortunately, the Iridori Festival is proceeding smoothly. The Tri-Commission cooperated closely to...
Brother and I are very grateful for your help.
Toma sure is taking his sweet time.
Yes. Today is one of the rare occasions when Brother isn't busy. I was going to buy some books, but he said he wanted to come along.
Paimon didn't think Ayato could ever be forgetful.
Brother always works diligently, and it's... So, Toma and I really cherish such...
Kazuha, what are you doing here?
I came here to take in the sea breeze. Such a bustling I thank you, but please, don't worry. Look, see this familiar harbor in front of us? Before, but now, it's become a... Not only are foreigners coming to Inazuma again, but traffic between...
Yeah, Inazuma has already started to change, huh?
I was thinking, in some ways, each and it might take a different amount of time for different people. And when they finally let go.
It's time for the portraits unveiling ceremony. Let's head over to the 5 Kasen Plaza.
Everyone, welcome to the magnificent... Today, we have ushered in the final stage, and now we will reveal the final portrait of the 5 Kasen. Kuronushi.
Paimon has no idea what Albedo's portrait looks like.
Let's all count down together. 3, 2, 1... Huh? What's this? I suppose Calx must have forgotten to... let's hear some words from Calx.
Hello, everyone. First, I would like to say that it was an honor to be... The 5 Kasen are legendary figures from ancient Inazuma, famous for their works of poetry. As time, I learned from existing sources about those stories that the character of Kuronushi... Moreover, Kuronushi lacks a dedicated chapter among the stories. It's as if... Perhaps we can assume that every creator had a different understanding of Kuronushi. So, in the same way, after all, the Iridori Festival is a place for everyone to express their...
Yep, that's Albedo for ya. His super logical explanation is sure to win everyone's approval. Well, it seems that our adventures at the Iridori Festival have come to a close. Huh? Well, oh, right! We still haven't figured out who left those stories. Really? Come on then, who is it? Tell Paimon! Well, that makes sense. Otherwise, there'd be no way to give the right paper to the... Right. Even though they were using stories to hint us toward Shincho's troubles, the real goal was to... Oh! Paimon gets it now. Let's go! We'll get to the bottom of...
The one who left the stories of the 5 Kasen.
Huh? Really?
But see, because other than me...
Yes, in fact, before doing the portrait of Kuronushi, I think my current approach to this portrait is the most correct one.
friend.
As it just so happens, one of the...
Paimon wants to see how you'll explain yourself.
First of all, the start of this whole incident was due to mere happenstance. You see, Lady Yai happened to catch sight of Xingqiu and the editor...
Huh? So it was Miko after all? Paimon knew it. This thing had Miko written.
That's right. But using the story of the 5 Kassen to guide you to the... As for my roundabout approach... Yes. Due to a certain incident that occurred earlier, I happened to notice that I knew there was more than meets the eye regarding those papers, but it took me some time to figure out the secret behind the ink. What Kaedehara Yoshinori said in the letter is very important for both the Kamisato clan and the Kaedehara clan used to be subordinates of the Kamisato clan. It was my ancestors who were unable to although he has the right to know the truth. The closer he draws to things hidden out of sight, the closer he also draws. Of course, I could outright tell him the truth that I had discovered, but maybe he doesn't have the will that's required. If he lacks the ability, then he wouldn't be able to find the truth in the first place. In which case, Kaedehara Yoshinori left his message in a roundabout way precisely. For a long time, I yearned for a suitable opportunity to convey this map.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. Yeah, it wasn't only Kazuha. You
I figured you would ask this question. I merely saw that this matter would be of value to you. And more importantly, I hoped that while Kazuha and Ayaka were looking for the answers together, reliable friends who would be willing to protect them and make measured decisions. Friends who... Because it is also very likely that you will face the same enemy together in the... You already know the answer deep down inside. The answer is actually hidden in the portrait of Kuronuchi. When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eye. As for the means of revealing that answer, well...
pretty late, so nobody else is around now. So Ayato must have been telling us to splash water on the It's the Balladeer! So he was the one behind the trouble all those years ago!
When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eyes. As for the means of revealing that answer, well, also, there's one last thing that we must... I mentioned earlier that the occurrence of a certain incident made me notice the bonds. It was just after the Shogun announced the abolition of the Sakoku decree. I heard that they had discovered signs that someone had entered the warehouse storing the Commission's articles of evidence, and I felt something unusual about that incident. So I told Kujo-Sara of the Tenryou Commission to treat it as if nothing happened. In the meantime, I sent a member of the Shumatsuban to keep watch over the warehouse. And sure enough, someone was...
You mean, he was also...
I let him search for a while, but in the end, he found nothing.
Why didn't you send someone to catch him?
The best way to protect a secret is to treat it as if it doesn't exist, is it not? After he left Inazuma, I carefully checked the Kaedehara clan's belongings one by one, and eventually I am certain that the papers are the secret which the infiltrator sought to find, though he could... So, now on to my Which part of Kaedehara Yoshinori's experiences was the secret that needed to be protected? I don't have it. As for now, please, enjoy yourselves at the Iridori Festival.